तथाहयो दण्डसूका सर्पानागश्च तक्षकम् विदाय वत्सं दुदुहुर्बिलपात्रे विषं पयः तथाहयो दण्डसूका सर्पानागश्च तक्षकम् विदा विधाय वत्सं दुदुहुर्बिलपात्रे विषं पयः. Thereafter, cobras and snakes without hoods, large snakes and scorpions, and many other poisonous animals took poison out of the planet Earth as their milk and kept this poison in snake holes. They made a calves out of takshaka. Purport: this material world, there are types of living entities, and the different types of reptiles and scorpions mentioned in this verse are also provided with their sustenance by the arrangement of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The point is that everyone is taking his eatables from the planet Earth. According to one's association with the material qualities, one develops a certain type of character. Payaha panam bhujanganam. If one feeds a serpent milk, the snake will simply increase his venom. However, if one supplies milk to a talented sage or saint, the sage will develop finer brain tissues by which he can contemplate higher spiritual life. Thus, the Lord is supplying everyone food. But according to living entity's association with modes of nature, the living entity develops his specific character. Hare Krishna. So, can everyone hear my? I hope you can hear my voice actually. Um, um, Maharaj Prithu, uh, Maharaj Prithu, he understood the problem of his all the problem of his citizens, and he wanted to satisfy their hunger. You know, so what he did, he uh, he made Mother Earth agree to release the needs, I mean, release the necessary foodstuffs needed for the living entities. So if you see, uh, basically what is needed, food, everyone needs food. The moment you get, the moment you get a body, the moment you get a body, uh, the moment you get a body, for the sustenance of the body, Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions in Chaitanya Sikshamrita, you need to take good care of, you need to maintain the body nicely, you need to take care of the health nicely, you need to take care of, but of course, knowing very well the body does not last long, one has to focus on spiritual life also. It's very, very important. आयुर्हर्ति वैपुंसं उदयनास्तंचेनसो तस्यार्धि यत् क्षिण्णित उत्तम श्लोक वार्तयत्. Time is running out. So one should have make this goal. What is the goal of life? Let me get rid of my impurities. Though you are not the body, you are living in the body. Though you are not the mind, though you have a subtle body. So our dealings with the world is actually through body. Our connection to the family is through the body. Our connection to work, office is through the body. So how is body is maintained? It is maintained with food. But very interesting, different people asked what they want, different people ask different things. What is that? Um, Great sages transformed Brihaspati into the calf, and they took Vedic knowledge. Very interesting. Sages are situated in mode of goodness. So they took from Mother Earth Vedic knowledge. Hare Krishna. Now Devatas, they took Somaras. Sages means they want to no, they want to extract knowledge to purify their mind. Sages are situated in mode of goodness, Sattva. What do you want? Knowledge. I want to purify myself. Because situated in Sattva. But Devatas are situated in, you know, uh, though Sattva is prominent, Sattva in the, they are also, they have other gunas also. In metal, in Swargaloka, enjoyment is non-stop enjoyment. So they want to enjoy. So they opted for nectar, somras, you know, to increase the power of the mind and body and sensual strength for enjoyment. Demons are in Tamaguna. They asked for liquor and beer, Hare Krishna. And the Gandharvaloka people, they wanted musical art. Pitruloka people, they wanted kavya. They want a food, you know, particular type of food. Then Siddhaloka people, they asked for mystic powers. And Kimpurushloka people, they asked for, they also mystic powers. And people in Tamaguna, they asked for, what is that? Tamagun products, Hare Krishna. Now today's verse, Tamagun products of blood, Hare Krishna. And today's snakes, they're asking for poison. What they're asking? Poison. By the power of Maya, whichever body you get, honestly speaking, I have a question for all of you. One question. If you had not come to Krishna consciousness, what would you have asked? I have a question for all. One person can respond. If Krishna comes before you, what would you ask? Sir, some Devata comes before you. If you had not come to Krishna consciousness.
Sense environmental.
Nice wife.
Yeah, somebody said nice wife. Amazing. Somebody said, I can't hear.
Sense enjoyment related.
Wealth and health. Yeah.
Wealth and health. Yes, dhanam dehi. You want money. Rupam dehi, beautiful body. Rupavati bharyana dehi. So you want money and sense enjoyment. Hare Krishna. Wealth and sense enjoyment. How long? So all whatever they've asked, I want to tell. Actually, the class has not started yet. I just want to tell this. I just want to tell. This is Bhagavatam. If you see, The moment you're given an opportunity, immediately your modes are coming out. It's not mode, sorry, your swabhava is coming out. That's the word. What is coming out? Swabhava is coming out. Your nature. Honestly speaking, it's very difficult to overcome the swabhava. Very difficult. Only one way. Prabhupada was actually distributing magazines. One person, he is from other organization. He said, "What is the need for all this spiritual becoming, worshipping Krishna, becoming following Bhakti Yoga? Be good and do good. Just become good." Prabhupada calls him Dharmadvaji. You cannot become good. I mean, you cannot become purified without being Krishna conscious, without doing nice sadhana for a very long time. I just want to add one line as an introduction before going forward. Krishna's this Mosul Leela happened in did not happen in Dwarka. Very interesting. See, that shows the Krishna's intelligence. Mosul Leela happened in Prabhasa Kshetra. Krishna told everyone, "Hey, chalo, we will all go to Prabhasa Kshetra." And to counteract, see, so many things are happening. To counteract the curse of sages, we should all go to Prabhasa Kshetra. Why? Why should they go to Brahmasa Kshetra? Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes, this is a point I want to make before, as the beginning, as an introduction to our thing. Many people, now I cannot say many people. The residents of Edu the Edu dynasty is filled with not just, they're not all from spiritual world. Some devatas also, they're invited. So Krishna felt these devatas, they stayed with Krishna. They saw Krishna again and again. But if the Mosul happens in Dwarka, anybody would leave the body in Dwarka, they would go back to Godhead. No, that should not happen. The demigods who descended from the heavens, they should go back to heavens. Means they have not acquired sufficient. This is the point I want to make. They have not acquired sufficient bhakti credits to go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. So the point is, Krishna's decision, Abhijna Swarat, his Supreme Lord, is the Abhijna and Swarat. He is cognizant and a Supreme Controller. Nothing is in our hands. The time is slipping out. Amazing, huh? Not even one a member knew what Krishna's plan was. Sometimes you take things for granted, actually. So that is what I want to tell, that came to my mind. So, okay, chant 16 rounds, follow for agreements, we'll go back. Not like that. So we need to consciously get rid of our impurities. We try. But of course, at the same time, we cannot, I cannot, what do you call that? We cannot put restrictions to Krishna's mercy. We have no idea that Lord Chaitanya, So anyway, coming back, what is that? Swabhava is very difficult to change. Swabhava is very difficult to change. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are celebrating Gaur Purnima very soon. We are celebrating. So the snakes, they asked what they asked. Food natural. 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So your it's fixed. What type of enjoyment you'll get, what type of distress. But only thing that's not fixed is how much bhakti you make progress. How much progress you will make in bhakti. Somebody asked liquor, somebody asked somaras, somebody asked knowledge. This Devata, the demigods, they asked, sorry, not demigods, the rishis, they asked for knowledge. Brahmapunalok Punaravartana Arjuna, Mampetya Kaunte. Sorry, what was it? Punaravartana Arjuna. You know, so this, what is that? Up to Brahmaloka, this is cycle of birth and death. What do you think? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is that? He came for this, became compassionate. He became compassionate and he came, he came for that exclusive reason. Daytime, he would cry for the living entities. Nighttime, of course, he would exhibit that Radhabhav Prema Rasa Niryasa Korite Aswadan Ragamarga Bhakti Loke Korite Prachar. So Prabhupada is writing here, if you give milk to the snake, what happens? Bananas to the snake. Vishavardhanam. But if you give a sage milk, he will do better things. He'll develop better finer tissues. He'll contemplate a spiritual life. One has to be very careful. We are giving whom to what? It's very important. So that's why, they're asking, what is our lower nature? What is our higher nature? What are our weaknesses? If you consider this as a seminar, you take a paper and write it down. What is my lower nature? What is my higher nature? Means what are my qualities? So as of today, for example, we are all in Krishna consciousness for some time. That then, write down what qualities I should not act on, what qualities I should act on. If you make a snake a king, then snake would do more damage. If the snake is in the hole, snake would not do bigger, more damage. In other words, an envious person becomes powerful. What happens? He'll do more damage. How many of you agree? So why I'm telling this is, if a position comes to you, is it good for you or a spiritual life or not? One has to make. Or a promotion comes to you. Always it's a choice. Anything that is increasing your higher and it's helping your higher nature, take it. Anything that is increasing your lower nature, reject it. Otherwise, you'll do damage to yourself more than anybody. How many of you understood?
Yes, Prabhuji.
If for example, if snake tries to bite another snake, no problem. But if a snake tries to bite Durvasmani, what will happen? Right? If a snake tries to bite Durvasmani, something like of that stature, or Vishmitra, yes or no? So you have to be, it's better not to meet Durvasmani. But if you have that nature, but because what happens if you have a serving nature, You should meet people of higher, better character. Immediately you will serve. You will serve. Why I am today, I want to tell a story. Sarvam Bhattacharya, he invited Lord Chaitanya, my Lord, please come to our home for prasad. Please come to our home for 15 days prasad. Lord Chaitanya said, I'll come to your home for 1 day. I'll come to your home for 1 day. Sarvam Bhattacharya said, no, my Lord, please come for 10 days. Lord Chaitanya said, I'll come for 5 days. So, see, when you have a service attitude, one should not have two masks. Sometimes I heard this. Usually, temple one way, office another way, at home another way, or with the different people we deal with differently. That is also swabhava. But if we can try to improve that swabhava, that nature will become better. This is what I'm understanding actually. Finally, Lord Chaitanya agreed, I'll come for 5 days. He also invited Paramananda Puri, So inside my Damodar's, Swarup Damodar Goswami also I'll invite, So basically, what is that? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if they all come together, I cannot, if 10 sannyasis come together, I may not be able to serve them nicely. Very nice point, actually. Then I would be an offender. So, but if you can come with Sarvadhana Goswami or alone, that's fine. Wow. So do what you can. Don't do what you can't. Very wonderful message. So Lord Chaitanya agreed. And what is very important is one should know the actually Einstein says this, one should know the limitations of his life. This is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. A person who knows about himself very well, better than anybody, his limitations and plus and minuses, strengths, he'll go forward in his life. Sathira Mata, she is called because the daughter name is Sathi. So Sarva Bhattacharya's wife was called Sathira Mata. She's a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. And what happened? They started, they started cooking. He told us, they were so happy. Wow. The Lord Chaitanya was, he was very fond of spinach. They cooked so many items, and they have a Salagram Sila also, And this lunch room, they have a separate lunch room connected to the kitchen. Sarva Bhattacharya constructed, That way, he would serve the guests, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, easily. And other guests, not just Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone. From Ramanuja's story, we can understand. Ramanujacharya wanted to was going to this village. So in village there were two disciples, Yajnesh and Varadacharya. Varadacharya was poor, but Yajnesh was rich. Lord Ramanujacharya sent his disciples. The disciples came and said, Guru Maharaj is going to come to this village 2-3 days. There is a possibility he'll come to your home. Oh, really? Thank you very much. As soon as he heard, he busied himself, in the preparations, But the other disciples went to Varadacharya, who was actually just a simple Brahmana. And he and his wife received these two disciples, god brothers, and they fed him nicely. They fed them nicely. How is Guru Maharaj? When is he coming? We are not fortunate, but reality is Varadacharya was a beggar. He would do madhukari and maintain his life. They both, after, so they were honored very well. They were taken good care of. When they went back, Ramanujacharya asked, how did you? So what is the response? Guru Maharaj, Yajnesh was very happy. Yajnesha. And Varadacharya was very happy. But did anyone take care of you? Yajnesh was so elated that you are going to come. He became busy, but he did not take, he became busy. So naturally he forgot us. But Varadacharya and his wife took good care of us. Ramanujacharya said, all right. Then we'll go to the home of Varadacharya, not Yajnesh. Hare Krishna. So if you love me, you love my dog is America's statement. Very interesting. So you love Krishna means you love Krishna's devotees. Ramanujacharya went to Varadacharya. He did not go to he did not go to Yajnesh. Right. So anyway, so did not just Lord Chaitanya, but other devotees, Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, all the great devotees, all the sannyasis. Grostha means invite people, feed them. With gratitude. Srila Prabhupada's father would do that. Anybody staying outside, before taking prasad, he would go out and he would invite anybody. America, it's not possible. You don't see anybody outside, of course. But at least devotees we should invite. Any devotee. Everyone is my god brother. So they cooked so much rice, So they poured butter, So, they cooked, such a wonderful rice, and and if you put banana leaves, if you put, it has chlorophyll. When you put a hot rice, the rice will absorb the chlorophyll of banana leaf. It's very healthy, not like plastic plates, And what is that? He cooked 10 types of pots, and all the varieties of sweets, so many. Trust me. Why not? We should eat. Somebody asked actually one time in Mayapur, Maharaj in Navadip or Navedi, they asked Chandrapali Maharaj actually. In Naveda Bhakti, why eating prasad is not included? Very nice question. Why eating prasad is not included? Chandrapali Maharaj said, to perform Naveda Bhakti, 9 types of Bhakti, you need to eat prasad anyway. So the pivotal point of performing Naveda Bhakti, Maharaj said, is prasad. That's why it is present in all the 9 types of Bhakti. That's why it is not separately mentioned. Anyway, they offered, what is that they have? So they prepared a nice plate with all these items, and they made put up scented water, the sweets. Actually, I could have mentioned all these things, but not, we had to go forward. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and he washed his feet. Lord Chaitanya was, wow, 100, so many items. In 6 hours you made, amazing. I know the food is, I hope the food is has been offered to Krishna. I see tulsi flower in it. You know? So the rice is very attractive, so smell, the aroma is so very nice. Radhakrishna must have directly taken it. Sarva Bhattacharya, how can I glorify you? You know? I am also fortunate to eat the remnants of the food. We should have that type of nature before honoring prasad. We should say, speak the Mahaprasade, Govinde, we should recite, we should have, with the gratitude, we should eat prasad. Taste it, then we make a lot of progress actually. Then Sarva Bhattacharya says, my Lord, the person for whom the prasad has been made, by his grace, this whole thing is made. And I cannot eat this much food. Then he said, my Lord, Jagannath Puri, you eat how many times? Chappan Bhog. No? Sorry. 1 minute. This battery is coming to an end. Chappan Bhog. 52 times. 56 Chappan Bhog, But anyway, if the battery is down 1 minute, no. I'll use my cell phone actually. I think that's better. Yeah. So, if then what happened, Lord Chaitanya? You eat that many times in Jagannath Puri, and in Dwarka, 16,000 queens, they cook, and 18 mothers. Also you have unlimited friends and relatives in Yadu dynasty. In Vrindavan, in that one also, my lord, your father's elder brothers, younger brothers, uncles, there you 8 times. I don't know how many of Krishna would eat Chappan Bhog, how that Chappan Bhog came into existence. Does anyone know? During Govardhan festival, Krishna, Yashoda fed him 8 days for 8 times, 7 days. 7, 8, 56. That's why Chappan Bhog came from there. So anyway, what happened? Eat. So Lord Chaitanya sat and they started eating. Haribol. But Amokha is the son-in-law of, he was the son-in-law of Sarvam Bhattacharya. He is a Brahmin family. He was born as Brahmin. The whole session is for this. But Amokha was a fault finder and a blasphemer. Amokha was a fault finder and a blasphemer. He wanted to see how much Lord Chaitanya would eat. But Sarvam Bhattacharya, he had a stick in his hand. That's why he didn't get the opportunity. But the moment he got the opportunity, he came inside and said, this much food is sufficient to eat 10 to 12 man, 10 to 12 man, people. This Sanyadi is eating alone, Hare Krishna. Can you believe this? Even Krishna also, when you come to this world, sorry. When you come to this world, Krishna also has to face that type of, thing. Hare Krishna. Can you believe? Said, this food is enough for 10, 12 people. The sannyasi is eating alone. Hare Krishna. How do you feel? Actually, food we should never tell anybody. Give more. envy. When you give milk, so the association of the family members is seeing Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, his wife's chastity, his wife's devotion did not remove his envy. Why? So that's why the position as his brother son-in-law and is as I don't know, the wife being husband of Sathira did not remove, because one should have a strong desire. I should remove this enemy from my heart. It is keeping me away from Krishna, birth after birth after birth. I mean, like a snake with wearing.
Did we
Yeah,
lose Bharati? Oh,
I'm a snake wearing kantimala, but you know, uh, but I have this quality. I chant my rounds. But what is the use? How many organizations they speak, they preach this today? You agree or not? So I need to get rid of this. Or give me strength, my Lord. I don't act on this. Otherwise, the whatever the food, if I'm not consciously changing, or willing to change. Actually, one time Nitesh Prabhu said this. 10 times I should get rid of this. My Lord, please give me strength not to act on it. Or in the mental level, it is there. So we are all filled with the impurities, but don't act on it. How many of you agree? He said that, but not knowing whom he was offending. It is exactly like, Kapila Muni, what is that? The Maharaj Sagar, he had 60,000 children. He told them, go and search for the horse. But what Indra did, Indra put that horse in he parked the horse in the ashram of Kapila Muni, the son of Devahuti. But the moment they dug they dug the earth, they went deep. But there they happened to see this horse, in the ashram of Kapila Muni. They immediately concluded Kapila Muni is the one who stole this. Because of that offense alone, the fire element in their body triggered, then it was invoked, and it burnt them to ashes, burnt all of the 60,000 people. Kapil Muni did not even interact. The Bhattaharis, they not only snatched Kalakrishna Das, but they tried to even kill Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, because of that offensive mentality, the weapons, they started, they became alive, and they started cutting the limbs of Bhattaris. Lord Chaitanya did not do anything. Here also same thing happened. Immediately Saram Bhattacharya picked up his stick, started chasing him, but of course he was very young. Amoga ran away. Then he said, I wish he would die. I'm very happy just to have my daughter as a widow. My daughter to become a widow. But what is the story? The story was Amoga because of this offense to the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amoga became, he was infected with cholera. And he was on the verge of death. Gopinath Acharya went and told this to Lord Chaitanya. Actually, when Amoga said this, oh, this food is enough for 12 people. Sannyasi is eating. Bapra, so much he's eating. Lord Chaitanya started laughing. Lord Chaitanya did not take it as an offense. Hare Krishna. Amazing. This Lord Chaitanya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who wrote Sikshashtakam, where he says Trunada Visanichena. But what is the moral of the story? Moral of the story is as soon as Gopinath Acharya told Lord Chaitanya, not only actually when Zaravadacharya came to know, wonderful. What I should have done to him, nature is doing it. Amazing. But Lord Chaitanya responded differently. Immediately Lord Chaitanya went to his home. And he was in those days, 500 years ago, cholera means what? You lose all the water in the body, toilet, I know, cholera is cholera. You all know, I don't need to explain. So Lord Chaitanya put his hand on his chest and said, why? Why your Brahmana means by nature his heart is pure. Why did you allow this Chandala to come in the heart? A person whose heart is infected with, I'm talking to myself, I'm literally honest, not that this class is for anybody. Why? We've been chanting for very long. Honestly speaking, this enemy, poison, envy, or avidya, even for that matter, it brings division. It brings division. And, it brings us arrogance. You all agree? So, the point I'm making is, so Lord Chaitanya put his hand on the chest. And how can when your heart is contaminated, you cannot chant Hare Krishna mantra? Why can't we, feelingly chant Hare Krishna mantra? Because our heart is filled with impurities, Kali Yuga products. Then for that person, saffron is a heavy burden. Or his seniority is a burden. And a designation as a preacher is a burden. What do you think? If it is increasing our poison, the designation is a burden. So, anyway, the point is, Lord Chaitanya, he said, wake up, Amogha. Lord Chaitanya didn't take offense. When Madai attacked Nityananda Prabhu, he became angry. But when Amogha spoke like this, Lord Chaitanya didn't even care, Hare Krishna. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Parama Karuna. Amogha, wake up, wake up, wake up. Amogha immediately woke up. Cured of his disease. Not cholera of envy. He slapped his cheeks. Then he started slapping his mouth. And Gopinath Acharya stopped him. Amogha started chanting, he became a pure devotee. Hare Krishna. Amogha became a pure devotee. He became, his heart was filled with Krishna Prema. That is Mahavadanya Avatar, Lord Chaitanya. And now, we all have different types of snakes I don't know about others. We have this envy, that's why we are taking birth again and again. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not killing us, killing our impure. Is killing our impure hearts. Sorry, killing the impurities of our hearts. I'm sorry. Killing the impurities of our hearts. That's what I want to tell today. And then the conclusion is, Lord Chaitanya, Saram Bhattacharya said, my Lord, you should have allowed him to die. Lord Chaitanya said, Saram Bhattacharya, everyone connected to you, they're very dear to me. Even a dog in your home is very dear to me. So we should also have somebody. What is our qualification? Srila Prabhupada. You are connected to Prabhupada somehow or other. Those who have initiated are aspiring to be initiated. But we cannot burden Prabhupada. We should not become, amogas. We should become amoga leelas. Or we should become servant of amoga leela Prabhupada. What do you think? This is what I want to tell. Actually, I have to go again. I have one more program. The only point I want to add is today when I'm done this class is actually, sometimes it's an update, sometimes I feel good, sometimes I don't feel good, up and down, But finally, how long can I do? I've decided to come back. So coming back, I booked my tickets also coming on 14th March.
Haribol.
So
Haribol.
I'm
Hare
coming
Krishna.
back.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
So I'm not taking any, so I have booked my, so I'll be coming returning, and I hope. I wanted to come early, but my mother actually recovered, and I'm still, my mother recovered, and she wanted me to be with her, and I told her, "Ma, how long can I stay? I have to go back." So I'm coming back, I could have come early, but this is thing 14th, just booked a couple of hours before actually. So returning back, and that's the only thing. Anyone has any question or comment? I have to give one more class actually. I can take one question if anyone has any question. So, others.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Prabhuji, I have a question. Like being in the leadership role, like we had to do our sadhana also. And I'm not a leader, but I'm just asking in case. So how does that work? We have to do our duty also. Leadership is also like a checking that we are correct and others are correct. So it's a hard role. So how does that? I mean.
Nice question. Thank you. Actually, Ama Krishna has given them that position. You should understand that. That's why you should respect their decision. They may not be right all the time. I agree with you. That's why many leaders go through and they have a lot of health issues. So they have to be thoroughly honest. It's not easy though. One time Gaurang Prabhu was taking a brahmachari class. But then what happens is if he exploit the position, then he'll pay heavy price. That's what the class is all about. For example, if you step on somebody's toes, that some devotee you ask for forgiveness because it's an accident. But if you purposefully step on somebody's toes, then the reaction comes. One lecture of Radhana Swami, I heard he says, reaction comes even if you offend a non-devotee. Not just devotees. If we offend non-devotees, even you, whether you're a leader or not, if we offend a non-devotees, we get reaction. Spiritual life is simple, not easy though. But to some extent, they're protected as long as there is honesty to the best of their ability. It is also a position with rights come with rights come with rights come responsibility. Responsibility comes with rights. You have rights also, but you also have responsibility. When Indra did mistakes, the entire all the devatas were affected. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. So always have to consult a guru if we have any dilemma or like do any.
Yeah. Better to consult their authorities. You should have some senior, to guide. Same thing with all of us also. Even Grostas, everyone is a leader.
Mm.
You're a leader, you're a leader too. You have children, you have responsibility.
Mm.
Everyone is a leader, So, but again, if they're fairly right, and if you give trouble to leaders and they're right, then you'll pay also the price. And that is another side.
Yeah.
So because they are playing a very tough role, because they have to satisfy, like for example, if you have just 2 people in your home, you're unable to manage. How can they manage so many people? That is also not easy,
Yes, Prabhuji.
And that's because we all go home, but they take care of they run the show, they run if it is temple manager, they have to run the temple. So that way they get some protection,
Mm.
as much as possible. Do service, one like that. What is that? Even if you give punishment, that is for the betterment of that's one line I heard one lecture. That is for the betterment of the devotee, But okay, Haldar Maharaj made a statement: 2 positions are permanent in this world. Srila Prabhupada as founder Acharya and Krishna as Supreme Personality Godhead. All these 2 positions are permanent. Rest are all temporary in this world. You agree?
Yes, Prabhuji, absolutely.
That one has to be careful. Nothing is permanent in this world. Our body is not permanent. What to speak of anything? Anyone wants to add anything? Any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one question, Prabhuji. When you mentioned that if you're taking a position that will increase our lower nature, then we should not take it. But if the service demands, Prabhuji, or if the community needs, should we still take it, Prabhuji, or give up?
We should take it if there is no substitute, but we have to be very careful. We have good control on the tongue. One has to be scared of offending others, scared of committing mistakes. Actually, if you have committed mistake, genuinely ask for forgiveness. Or you offended somebody, genuinely ask forgiveness. But this is the thing: as long as you're fairly reasonable, you get protection if you're an authority. Okay. If there's nobody, actually, what is that in the story? There's nobody. When Daksha went for tapasya, there is nobody to rule. Then what happened? Priyavrat was called in by Swayambhu Manu, and Brahma authorized it. Then Priyavrat took it. He did not want to take it. So when you have grace, you're protected. Basically, as long as you're thoroughly fairly honest, you get protection. But then what happens? Krishna also see. Krishna knows everything. Let me tell you. But only one thing is ego should not come into the play. False ego, hankar, I am the doer. That should no. Then what happens? Then that's not good. You'll pay price. Service attitude is very important, which is not easy though for a conditions full. That's what I can tell. Or if you just clarify, there's nothing wrong in clarifying with others, especially seniors. Am I doing right or not? Then Krishna will protect. Last question. Any other question? Otherwise, we'll end it. Anyone wants to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Babaji, my humble pronouns. Just wonderful to hear that you're coming back. It was an explosion of jubilation over here upon the news of your gotten a ticket and everything. So very excited to take your darshan, and just wonderful to hear. Wonderful news.
Thank you, Ru. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Nothing, and so great, So yeah, my obeisances to all of you, and Hare Krishna. We'll end it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank
Thank you, Prabhuji.
you so much.
Dandavad Pranam.